Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having fat-free Greek yogurt, almond butter, and milled flax seeds. All right, let's talk about people who think that we need to add a fourth lift to powerlifting because it doesn't cover enough strength bases. I'm going to be nice in this one because I think in this case when people say this, I don't think that they are being willfully ignorant. I don't think that they're stupid. So I want to try to not be condescending here because I think it's legitimately, because I see it a lot, I think it's really just young kids who have no experience in strength sports. And I honestly think that's what it is. And that's okay. You know, we all were inexperienced at different things. We all had ideas that we thought it would be cool to put out there on the internet or whatever at different points in our life before we learned anything. Okay? It really and truly is just ignorance. And it's stuff that they'll learn better. Like if these people who make these statements ever start going to powerlifting meets or they start judging a meet, they'll laugh at the idea. And it's always more upper body stuff, right? Every single time we should add overhead pressing. Well, you can go to strength lifting if you want to do overhead pressing. When you get there, you realize how much of a joke the overhead press is in your total. Like if you start talking about overhead press, it's not even significant to your total anymore. Like if it were to even replace the bench press, the best lifters wouldn't bother to train their upper body, so they could just drop a weight class and squat and deadlift and do a token overhead press. Right? It's so insignificant to where it makes it a joke. But they'll want to add an overhead press. Or they think we should add weighted chin-ups or weighted pull-ups. Well, there's problems with all this. Weighted pull-up, weighted chin-up. You want to add that as a fourth exercise. And we're going to cover the practical then at the end of why this whole idea is comical to add any lift. You already have deadlifts. Works the back really hard. You want to add pull-ups or chin-ups. How many bicep tears do you think you're going to see? Right? Because let's be honest here, a true competition max on a weighted chin-up is in of itself a risk of bicep tear. Right? It's a risk of a bicep tear, just like the deadlift. You start combining them into the same meet, and people say, well, we could change rules. We could force everyone to use hook grips. We could allow straps. Oh, so you want to remove grip completely from a strength sport. And rewrite the rules, by the way. Completely rewrite the rules of the lifts that are already there. Because doing it this way, you're going to see bicep tears. Most powerlifters pull mixed grip. Most people deadlift mixed grip. Right? It has a better learning curve. It's more consistent. And not everyone can hook grip. I can't hook grip. I've tried. You guys saw me try. My thumbs are too short. Even after a year and a half of working with it, I can hold more mixed grip. But what you're going to see, because now you have two exercises with a risk of bicep tear, it can be mitigated easily enough. Like the bicep tears are not as common as you think they are. You start adding weighted pull-ups, weighted chin-ups. What do you think is going to happen? We're using two all-out competition maxes to where you are psyched up, right? You are psyched up and pushing yourself 100% in a competitive environment. You're going to see bicep tears at every single meet. Okay, the injury rate's going to go through the roof. Hey, this is stupid. It really is. This is stupid. That try to add them together like this as a fourth lift. The other thing, practicality. Now, I should make a separate video on this. I think as powerlifting gets more popular, you're going to see less lifts. Okay, it's because powerlifting is growing a lot. If anything, you're going to see something like the squat get dropped out, or you're going to just simply see more push-pull meets pop up instead of full meets where there is no squatting. That's probably more the direction you're going to see the sport go as it continues to get more and more popular. Powerlifting grows every year. Like versus 10 years ago, it is 3 times as popular today around the world. Easily. All right, people have to run these meets. You know how long it takes to do a big meet? All right, you guys have seen me on YouTube. You have seen me referee at least one powerlifting meet. There's footage out there of me that's been floating around because it even got on the news there. It got on the news in the UK. I was reffing at a meet that I did not compete at or anything that no one saw other than them that got on TV because I was up there next to the head judge on the bench press. Like it got on the news there. Okay, so the people in the UK know I reffed meets. Those of you out there have seen footage and pictures of me reffing a really big international meet that I competed at. All right, how long do you guys think that takes? All right, that meet needed 3 full days. 3 full days. Because we had to have weigh-ins for the first flights on Friday. Weigh-ins were starting at 8 a.m. on a Friday. Competition started at 8 a.m. on Saturday, plus then weigh-ins for the other people, the other flights. All right. Sunday, competition started at 8 a.m. This is for only 3 lifts. All right, this took 2 days of competition and 1 extra day for, again, weigh-ins and setup. This took 3 full days for the people running it, who had to take out of their lives all the officials, all the judges, all the setup, 3 full days. This is common. Some of you are in countries where powerlifting is really small, like some of my Canadian clients. It's really small up there. US, it's not. UK, it's not. 200 people show up to meets. Right? I've been at meets that had 200 competitors. 200 competitors. Takes up to 3 days. You want to add another lift. Do you understand how much more that's going to add? Do you realize that when you have 100 people competing in the same day with 3 lifts, it takes a full day? You're going to add another lift. That means they're going to have to compete on a separate day, or you're going to have to squeeze it all in. You're going to have to start cutting times down. I mean, meaning they got to give warnings. They would have to start cutting down from the time your bar is loaded till you lift. We would probably have to change rules to cut those times in. All right, how do you get it flowing? What happens if you have any problem with your flow? Because as it is, it can take up to 8 hours to get through one day. It can take up to 10 hours with 3 lifts to get all the competitors in those weight classes in a single day. What are we going to do? Carry them over to another? We need to add another day. Each person then competes 2 separate days. That would overlap with the other people's next day. Then they've got to be pushed back for the other weight classes that compete on day 2. Powerlifting meets would take 3 or 4 days, not counting any separate weigh-ins or setups. Right? Your average big powerlifting meet would be a 4-day event. These judges, they're not making money. There's no money. People have to take out of their lives who ref these meets, and there are people who ref a dozen meets a year. Okay? At least once a month, they're taking off from their life and are committed to showing up at these meets, running them, judging them, setting them up, having all the loaders, the spotters. It's not feasible. Adding an extra lift would add an extra day to every competition. And that would also possibly require more days of commitment for every competitor instead of just showing up and competing in their one day, only had their competition window, because again, they'll run different classes. It might only be 6 to 8 hours, right? Pretty normal. A lot of people don't know that. They think you're just going to come in and squat, bench, deadlift. No, You have to run the meet. You have all these other people who are competing. They all need setup times. You don't deadlift 30 minutes after your squat. It might be 6 hours. It might, in some cases, 8 hours. So the most extreme might actually happen as it is. Okay. This is unfeasible. It's not practical. And anyone who's been to, specifically anyone who's ever judged a big meet, would say, no, this cannot be done. This is ridiculous. For what? We already had 3 big lifts. It's not practical. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.